Hi, hello. It is Tammy with Cheers to Creativity. Hey, and if you know of anybody who might want to learn just a tiny bit about fabric painting or fabric stenciling, just send them a quick little note and say, hey, pop on an Essential Stencil because they're doing a fun fabric painting class. Now, when you are painting on fabric, you do have to consider the background color. So, for instance, painting on white, you're going to get very true colors to what you were putting down, and there's not going to be a lot of color change. When you are working on a dark surface, you sometimes need to prep that with possibly painting it white first so that your colors pop a little more. And sometimes you just need to work with that dark surface and let maybe metallic paints just kind of have their little shining moment. So you just kind of have to think about that a tiny bit as you are planning your piece. I just threw that on the ground, did not mean to. So what else do you need when you're going to do fabric painting? Now I'm talking about any kind of fabric painting, but tonight we're working on a little more of apparel pieces. So, but if any of them, it is really important that you have a hard surface. And this happens to be an old cookie sheet. It just is one that we weren't using anymore. It's hard, and covered it with a piece of paper, and it's worked very well for a very long time. And again, when I use fabric medium with acrylic paint, we heat set that. And lots of ways to heat set things. I'm telling you the way that I was taught and the way that I continue to use it is after the design is dry, you would take a piece of parchment paper or a piece of brown paper, like a garbage bag that had no printing on it, place it over the design, and then using a hot iron, you would just press it over the painted parts, and that would help set the fabric even more. And it kind of helps kind of soften the paint even more into the fabric. We're going to get started using that cute little duck that I did earlier today. And this is the silly goose. Other thing you are going to want is to have some tape. So I'm just going to set a little piece of tape that way and over here as well. And so I'm just going to brush mix this by picking up some white and just a touch of black. So I get about the shade of gray I think I want for my goose, okay? So I've done that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to offload it. And I'm going to come around here. And the first thing I'm going to do with this goose is I'm just going around this outline. Now, I don't want this to be just an outline, but I'm using this, that's the bow, so I can take the stencil off and fill it in. So there you go. So I've mixed those two colors together. And I'm going to fill in our feet. I'm going to pick this up for just a minute. Did I get some paint there? I did. We'll add something. Okay. So I want to show you what I've got. I'm just going to tip this down this way. I'm not. Take it off. Okay. So we have the outline of our goose. I'm going to take the smaller brush first, and I'm just going to, right next to my beak, pull. And I'll just start pulling this color in. I think I'd like him to be a little lighter, so I'm just going to lighten him up a little bit more. But I like having the different colors. I think it just gives it a little more interest. Do it when the paint is still a little wet. When I'm going to be putting a different color on top of there, it's helpful that it is already dry so it's not fighting with the color that's underneath it. So let's go ahead and dry this real quick. Okay, so I've dried that off a little bit. I'm going to grab our stencil. I'm going to put it back on. Light blue. The top part of this bead a little bit, just so it has a little bit, and I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So I can see a couple little bleed spots, but it's going to be okay. So we've kind of filled in those bridges. So let's first pick up a little brown, tiny bit of brown, and let's just kind of give him a little bit of ground underneath him to start with, just to make sure that there's some ground under him. And let's just see. Let's see if we can add a couple flowers. And let's go ahead and make these petals. Be a little more careful with our petals. I had a little too much paint going on. So we've got that cute little one there. We're just going to take that off. We're just going to pounce in our center with our yellow and our brown. Boom, 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 boom. So there we have our sweet little goose, okay? Or duck. I'm sorry, he's not a goose. He is a duck. I do apologize. This is a V-neck sweatshirt. So this is about the color I have. I want to get this all filled in with this color first. So I'm adding some darker spots closer to the center. Oh, that looks cool. I'm going to lift this off right now. And I'm just going to kind of make a line out. And I'm just going to pull from that line to create kind of a leaf shape. Okay. Okay. Let me set this aside. Who knows? These are a pair of blue jeans that came from a thrift store. Let's see what we've got. So I knew right here, I knew this is a little problem area. Fix that. So I had a little bit too much up here, but it's certainly fixable. Look how pretty, just a little bit of that color shining through. Need one more little brush. Do I have one? I do. So where I've just kind of had my little boo-boo, I'm going to pick up a little bit of that red again. And I'm just going to make sure that I just have a little red on that edge. And I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to quickly show you again. Here is the blue jeans. I'm going to add some more flowers to that. Here is the first flower on the sweatshirt we did. Okay. And I want to add a couple more. And last but not least, the sirens are going off again. Here is our cute little duck. Guys, I've really appreciated you being here this evening. So much for being here again. Be safe, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.